Hey, awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another Wartales video. In this one, I'll be telling you 5 more tips and tricks for new players. So it's part 2. But before we get started, I just want to remind that if I can get to 500 subscribers by November 12th, we'll be doing $25 gift card giveaway. Alright? So let's subscribe, we're almost there. And I just want to remind, I do have my own Discord, link is in the description, and I do stream Boy Tales and a few other games down on Kick, link is also down in the description. But let's get into the tips and tricks part 2. Well, explore, which is tip number 1. Exploring is really good because you can get some of the materials like more iron ore, wood, some of the plants, but you can also discover some pretty cool areas. You might have not, you might discover inn or a rat infestation or a bandit lair or just another tower, right? That you can go and explore and or defeat enemies. Another thing, you might also discover secrets. Unfortunately, I don't know, I need to show you, but you can discover secrets. You might discover a pack of animals around. Just it's also good to find out more about the world, so you can get some like different areas that might have quests. So just explore, right? It is really good, and yeah, it also helps you with knowledge points. Because the more you explore, the more knowledge you get. If I can, can't look that way, but I can look from right here. You know, you get knowledge by discovering new areas. So that's why exploration is really good. But with exploration, you might sometimes get yourself stuck, which is where tip number 2 comes, and it's use pittons. You can craft them really easy in your camp, the workshop. There you go, pitton. It costs 1 rope and 1 iron. Iron you can get pretty easy. For rope you can buy it or make with hemp. Hemp you can pick up around places. But once you have pitton and you, let's say, want to have a shortcut, it's pretty easy to do. I already have one set up over here, but I'll show you how to set it up. I just won't place it. Alright, let's get close to the edge, because you need to be a little close to the edge. And you just go to your inventory and activate the pitton, and you can place it anywhere. And it shows you where the rope will end. So it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see it to the left of the pitton. You can place it anywhere. On the top will say if it's stable or not, if it's constructed, or if it's too far from you. But once you place it, you just come to the pitton, and then boom. We'll just shortcut it, saving us time to go all the way around, like a long way around this way, or another long way around this way. So pittons will help you not only just sometimes avoid the border places, border crossings, so you can easily go to the next area without having a border pass, or spending gold, or fighting enemies if it's like the bandit crossing guard. It also just allows you faster movement, skipping a lot of backtracking, right? Now, with that tip done, let's go tip number 3, and that is your paths. You have your power and glory, your trade and craftsmanship, your crime and chaos, and masteries and wisdom. They are really, really worth it. Right? They give some of the really awesome buffs that you definitely would want. Let's start with masteries and wisdoms. Probably my more favorite is, well, endurance run. Run duration increased by 20%. If you have the run perk from knowledge, you just run 20% longer, which is massive. So you can either escape the enemies that you don't want to fight, or get to areas faster. You have just a scratch, where your companion is less prone to be injured in battle. Huge. So you don't have to use your potions or cure plagues or whatever to heal them. Pretty good. You can have asceticism, to where your troops eat 3 less food. It might not seem much, but it's really helpful, especially in the beginning, even in later games, so your troops don't consume as much food. Tracker language, to where it costs less stuff to buy from them, or it costs less items, or archivist, doubles the knowledge gain from lecterns and other stuff. Crime and chaos, you can get some cool ones, you can get assassination missions from that. You can wear you can have it to where your depletion or suspicion mission meter, your suspicion meter depletes 10% faster. Or for your trades and craftsmen, you can have long distance running to where your movement speed on the road increase by 20%. And if you run, it's even more. It's huge. You can have it to where your cooperative, your wages are reduced by 10%. Or your trade horses, where your work ponies carry 10% more, which allows you to hold more stuff, Or negotiator, or transporter, where you carry capacity increased by 10, which is pretty good. In negotiations, where you can use your influence to negotiate missions for more bounty, About merchants, where you can get more money from missions. Or power and glory, to where you can have where even more, an additional 3 less food being consumed. Where you can have your trade of forged items, where your price of your crafted weapons increase by 10% per quality, For your weapons and armor, you can have it to where your forged weapons and armor increase stats by 10%, which is really good if you're into crafting, especially later stuff. To where your champion craftsman, forged armors have 1 additional layer stat, maximum of 3, which is pretty good, so you can put more layers stuff. Power and glory, so you get more experience combat, because it's hard. If you want to learn how to get more experience, do Watch My Short, faster leveling, really cool. Right, you can have just more perks, and it's pretty easy. Pretty easy to do. Some of them are like for power and glory, just blacksmithing, fighting, completing missions. Like it tells you what to do, and it's pretty easy to complete. Your tradesman, chain craftsman, just craft and trade stuff. You also can get it by like building a traveler post, reaching journey or master level in profession for the first time. You can get a lot of the points that way. For crime and chaos, I haven't really done much, but it's doing crime, stealing crowns or committing suspicion or winning ambushes, picking locks, mysteries and wisdom. It's using oils, doing alchemy, exploring, fighting ghost enemies, exterminating rat infestations, doing all that stuff. It's really awesome. It also, for as far as I know, for mysteries and wisdom, you can join. Where are they at? Where I can find them. Sorry about that. There you go, Fellowship of Knowledge, where it's on questline. Or for Power and Glory, you can fight in the Arena of Legends and win and get some nice stuff, right? But that's tip number 3, so definitely do paths. Tip number 4 is fighting ghost enemies, right? So unfortunately it's daytime, so I'll be back once we see the ghost enemies. So hopefully it won't take us long, but we'll be back. Alright people, we are back. We have a ghost enemy pack. As you can see, it's in the forest and it's all this misty ghost like stuff. You want to fight them, right? Obviously in the lower levels they won't be as hard as what I have, but the reason why you want to fight them is they give you a lot of good stuff. I'll show you what the good stuff you get and why you should fight him, but before we get into that, I want to show you the tip number 5 is the turn meter, right? That it is really important, or combat order meter, what do you want to call it? Combat turn meter is, as you can see, in the top left over here. I know it's kind of hard. In the top left, there's the turn meter. Your units are a little different. For you, you can use any. There's no specific meter or a specific turn, as you want to use the people that haven't went. But for the enemy, there's a set turn meter. And if you look on the ground, you can see like a little hazard symbol next to the ghost board, which means he's the closest one to go. So what you can do is do a little smarter way and fight the enemy that is about to go. So you might not be able to eliminate them, but you prevent them from hurting others, right? For example, since this ghost boar is gonna go, I can use, for example, where is he? Somebody who is tough to fight him instantly, to help with dealing with that enemy, so it doesn't go and attack the squishies, the ranged units, all that type of stuff. Also, make sure you set up your people the way that you want them. But with the ghost enemies, It's a little bit different because that will be a nightmare if you don't complete in wave 1. And you want to fight them on higher levels because the Ghost Bear, that's super tanky. But as you can see, before Ghost Bear goes, not only will the Ghost Boar go, well, one of my unit go, Ghost Boar goes, and then two of my other units. So what I can do is deal with the Ghost Boar as quickly as I can. Let's get my captain, hit him with a nice kick, deal a lot of damage. Oop, I messed it up a little. And then I wish it would kill, but it didn't. But we got rid of it. So now none of our units will get hurt. And I move my unit closer. Since it's a tanky, it will be able to deal. Now, you see how I moved my character to this unit? You can just back out a little and then select. Oh, my controller does not want to work, so give me a second. I apologize for the technical difficulties. There we go. Now we select Carl and move him, for example, to the Ghost Bear. Hopefully he'll be able to hit. And there we go. Now the Ghost Bear will always be fighting this unit, preventing the Ghost Bear from trying to fight any other unit. That's what you want to do to help you deal with a lot of those units, because some of those units hit hard, and if you can get rid of them really fast, that's just gonna make your life a lot simpler. That's why fighting in a turn or utilizing the turn meter is so important. Since I know that the unit is gonna be fighting the Ghost Bear is gonna be fighting one of my tanks, who's really nice, I utilize this guy to deal with the other enemies. There we go. And when the Ghost Wolf goes, yes, he will hurt. Oh, never mind. But he had infectious oil, so he will not be able to. But now look, the Ghost Bear is fighting my tank, which he dealt barely any damage, and my tank, with the proper setup, items just dealt massive damage back, which is why it's important to utilize that. Now I'm gonna fight the wolf, and boom, and we gonna clap it, which is, again, the turn meter is so massive. And make sure, if you can, for units, take the Wrath to where you deal a certain amount of damage if they have less than 50% health. I just got rid of the wolf. Massive thing. And I'm gonna help my units take care of the bear, because bear does hurt a lot. Unfortunately, since I have my one of my units is close by, I can't utilize, because this guy has the weapon that does a circular attack, which is no bueno. Now those units are a bit farther away, and I would like to move my archers a bit in range of the bear, and also be closer to my other units. Now make sure you don't, when you select the archers, it's 100% on the target you want. And even if it did 28 damage, that's 28 damage that the enemy couldn't do. But now you see, since I didn't attack the wolf, he's gonna have free reign to attack anybody else. Now we're gonna come close, and we're just gonna, burn enemies. I know burn spreads, but that's okay. But this is step number 5. Utilize the turn meter. Turn meter is your friend. It helps you avoid some of the enemies just dealing nasty damage to your squishies, like your rogues, your archers, your spearmen, pretty much anybody. That's why it's huge to utilize that turn meter. Right? But let's get back to talking about fighting the ghost enemies. You can see there are a lot tougher versions than other units. So if you don't get rid of them in one round, there will be a nightmare, and you want to fight the nightmare because it gives you more goodies, more white leather, more stuff. Unfortunately, it's not good for me because it's on the backside, and we have another Ghost Bear. The reason why it's important to fight him is, again, more goodies, the better. But I will cut back to when we're done fighting so we can finish the tips. But we'll be back. Alright, people, we're back with the tip number 4. Why you should fight ghost packs. But Unfortunately, I had to restart because the game crashed, so I did not get the second there. But we fought and we killed them. We did a lot of damage. But here's the thing why you want to fight them is because of the colossal paws. You're gonna need a lot of them, especially if you want to make your armor really, really awesome. Also, you're gonna need some white leather, some red eyeballs, pristine fangs. You're gonna need all of that, right? I will show you why you need the beautiful colossal paws in a second. So we just go to our camp so we don't have to fight. And the reason why we need it is in smithing, if you go all the way down, you can make reinforced layers, you know, like the stag, the falcon, the rat, all that stuff. You know, as you can see, it just requires, some of them require just basic materials, which you get. But if you want to get the colossal versions, so let's use the stag actually. The basic one gives you 2 strength and 9 armor, right? Pretty good, nothing too amazing. But the colossal gives you 4 strength and 18 armor, so it's double. But it requires some iron, white leather, and rope. And instead of 1 raw material, it requires 2 colossal paws, which is why you're gonna need to fight a lot of ghost packs so you can get ghost bears. You might not have them at the start, but in the later, once you get a little more levels, you're gonna need to fight them a lot so you can get colossal paws, which is why the ghost packs are amazing. So not only can you make your armor, the experienced armor, you know, the ghost pack armor, the ghost weapons, but you can make those layered armor pieces because they can definitely be huge. You know, giving me 18 more armor and 4 strength, and that's I'm using basic ones, but it can get you even more. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed these tips. Sorry, I was kind of a little all over the place with the last two, but they're kind of interchange. Like we're so close together. But with that said, hope you enjoyed this 5 tips and tricks. And with that said, don't forget to style some. I'll see you in the next one, and bye bye.